Some dates whisper in the background of history. And then there's September 2nd, a day where wars ended, nations were independent, and humanity reached for the skies. Let's journey through the unforgettable stories written on September 2nd. 1945, World War II finally ends.
Tokyo Bay, the battleship USS Missouri. On September 2nd, 1945, Japan officially surrenders, bringing World War II to its end after 6 devastating years. General Douglas MacArthur oversees the ceremony as millions around the globe celebrate victory and mourn the 70 million lives lost. This day is remembered as VJ Day, the final chapter of the deadliest war in human history.
Ruler of Japan and the Japanese people, defeated and afraid, did not know what to expect until this moment.
I announce it my firm purpose to proceed in the discharge of my responsibilities with justice and tolerance.
Justice and tolerance. With those words, one Japanese delegate later said, "The deck of the Missouri was transformed into an altar of peace." The Japanese foreign minister signed the instrument of surrender, followed by the Army Chief of Staff. General MacArthur signed. Eyewitnesses saw his hands tremble. The Allied nations signed as well, bearing witness to the end of the worst war in human history. World War II finally was over.
1666, the Great Fire of London ignites.
Early morning, September 2nd, 1666, a small fire starts in a bakery on Pudding Lane. Fueled by wooden houses and strong wines, it rages for 4 days, destroying much of London. Astonishingly, only a handful of deaths are recorded, but the disaster reshaped the city's architecture and led to modern fire safety laws.
(1969), the birth of the Internet's ancestor.
On this date, researchers at UCLA and Stanford connected the first nodes of ARPANET. The network that would eventually grow into the Internet. The world didn't know it yet, but September 2nd, 1969 marked the dawn of the digital revolution that now defines our lives.
1752, when September skipped 11 days.
In 1752, Britain and its colonies switched from the old Julian calendar to the Gregorian one. On September 2nd, the date jumped directly to September 14th, sparking riots from confused citizens who believed their lives had been shortened by 11 days. Can you imagine losing nearly 2 weeks overnight?
1789, the U.S. Treasury is born.
On September 2nd, 1789, the U.S. Congress created the Department of the Treasury with Alexander Hamilton as its first secretary. It became the financial backbone of the nation, and Hamilton's influence still echoes today, even on the $10 bill.
Vietnam's Independence Day.
On September 2nd, 1945, as Japan surrendered, Ho Chi Minh stood before a massive crowd in Hanoi and declared Vietnam's independence from France and Japan. For Vietnam, September 2nd is a national holiday marking freedom, resilience, and identity of Vietnam.
Victory over Japan Day.
In the United States, September 2nd is commemorated as VJ Day, a reminder of triumph and sacrifice, and the hope that such a global conflict would never happen again.
And touch off celebrations throughout the country. Washington is jubilant, and in Chicago, more than 1 million sing and dance in the streets in the biggest celebration the Windy City has ever seen. Joy is unconfined. It was 4 o'clock Pacific time in San Francisco when the announcement came, and people were quick to leave their offices for an impromptu, spontaneous celebration. But it was in that city's Chinatown where Victory Day was the most joyous. Firecrackers that had been hoarded for years are set off in a triumphant roar. Seattle let loose all the pent-up emotions of 3 years and 8 months of war, and to the victors, the spoils. The pose may not be dignified, but the young lady is not the least upset. Peace, it's wonderful. The Navy photographer gives us a preview of Admiral Halsey's ambition to ride the Emperor's white horse through the streets of Tokyo. Their rallying cry is, "Go to it, Admiral," and so say we all of us. But the greatest, wildest celebration of all was in New York's Times Square, where 2 million people, by far the greatest in the city's history, filled the streets all day waiting for the official word. A hilarious, happy throng, they cheered every rumor that it was all over. And when President Truman's announcement came at 7 o'clock, the lid really blew off. Thousands of proud American flags dotted the square, and as the day wore on, hilarity reached a high peak. Far into the night, the happy crowd screamed their relief at the end of the greatest war in history. From early Tuesday morning, the celebration went on for 24 hours. New York never celebrated like this before, but never did they have a better reason.
So, whether September 2nd reminds you of fire sweeping London, surrender signed in Tokyo Bay, or the quiet click of the internet's first connection, one thing is clear: this day has changed the way we live, fight, and connect. Which story from September 2nd surprised you most? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.